Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel, and this is your tip of the week. Because we're beginning to get into the fall holiday season, I'm getting a lot of questions about table runners. So I'm going to try to give you a few suggestions on how to take a very basic rectangular table runner and turn it into something special without having to sew a lot of pieces together. So what I'm going to do is, I've got just some small samples here. So I like using fusible interfacing on it. And so what I've got is, here's my fabric for the top, and I have fused some interfacing on it. And it's a mid-weight interfacing by Pellon number 950. So fuse that all on, and then I have fabric that's for the back. Now, here, the top fabric is here. I'm going to put this back fabric front sides together. So I'm looking at the not so pretty side. So I'm now going to show you how to make it pointed. So in order to make it pointed, the first thing you want to do is go ahead and stitch your sides. Do not stitch the ends yet. Then you're going to take it, you're going to fold it in half like this, and take a ruler and go in through here and push against it to make the fabric, make sure the fabric is smooth at the folded area. Now you need to decide just how pointed do you want it. Do you want just a very subtle point, not making it too sharp, or would you like it super pointed? So you want to make sure your fold line is straight on one of the lines on your cutting mat. Then count over the number of inches that you want it to be. So I'm just going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to put it on the corner and on the 6-inch line. And then I'm just going to cut it off. Then you're going to go to the opposite end, leave it folded, make sure the fabric is nice and smooth in that folded section, and then count over the same number of inches and cut the point. One more point I want to bring up before we move on. When you were stitching the sides, make sure you leave an opening in which you can turn it front side out. So always leave about a 5-inch, maybe 6-inch opening so you can do that. All right, so you've cut your point or your points, and then pin those ends like this all the way through, and then finish stitching it off at each end. Before you turn it front side out, you want to go to the points here and on the sides, trim that seam down to where it's about 1/8 of an inch wide. Then you reach inside and turn it front side out. Now I'm going to show you how to round the ends of your table runner. And I'm using a circle template. This is a 5-inch in diameter circle template. This is going to give a nice curve to your project. Now, if you don't have circle templates, that's okay. Just get a large lid from a jar or a small plate, and you can use that as your template. So again, I've fused fabric on my fabric for the top, and now I'm going to fold it in half. The sides have been stitched. Remember, leave a small opening on one of your side edges. And this time I'm going to make sure that everything is straight, put this inside, make sure everything is smooth in that folded area. Then you're going to take your template and you're going to either just cut right around like this, or you can draw your lines and then cut them out. Then after you're done cutting, then you open it up and you have these nice rounded edges. And you would do that at the opposite end. Now the more the severe curve, if you want it almost oval-like, then of course you need to get something else so that you can get that particular size of curve. Then go ahead and pin your ends and stitch them up. Whenever you have a curved edge, after you stitched, you want to take a pair of small scissors and do a few little short clips so that the fabric will lay much better when you turn it front side out. This is a table runner I've probably had for 6 years, and I love it. I use it a lot. It has spent a lot of time on my dining room table. But I have these little cut off corners here. So let me show you how to do that one. So you would stitch the sides just like you did on the other 2 examples, and then fold it in half. Make sure your sides are even with each other, and then put that ruler inside and make sure all your fabric is smooth in there. Then take your ruler, place it on top, and you need to decide how many inches. This would be the corner if it hadn't been chopped off. So you need to decide how deep of a curve, or excuse me, diagonal cut you want. So I counted over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then place the ruler on there and then cut it off. Now here's a table runner of mine. It's just all yellow and it's got that pointed end. I find that when making a table runner for myself, my personal taste, I don't like a super detailed table runner. I don't want 3, 4, 5 different pieces in there that I'm making this beautiful elaborate design. I do it every now and then, but I love just getting one piece of fabric that's really elegant and making just a very plain table runner. But you can also add embellishments. For instance, this beaded trim. It just adds a lot of elegance to a very simple design table runner. I made this to go over a console table where it would hang over the edges and you would see the fringe dangling. Here is that rounded edge table runner. This has a country feel to it because of the fabric that I chose. I love roosters and chickens. But to kind of add it, spice it up just a little bit, I added a little ruffle fringe, and I just chose the color red that was in the pattern, and it just adds so much personality to a very plain designed table runner. Wanted to show you one more thing. It is my favorite table runner, and I made this with the idea in mind that it would go on a little girl's dresser and that this end would hang over the edges each side of the dresser. Now granted, this has 2 pieces of fabric, but for what I did in here, you don't need to add 2 pieces of fabric. You could have just one solid color, curve the edges. I stitched ribbon on it, and then underneath the edge of the ribbon, I should say, I put this little fringe. And I just love it. I think it's beautiful. Now this one I showed you earlier has a lot of gold metallic on the print. So if I really wanted to make it look more elegant and dressy, I could take this sparkly ribbon and then stitch it onto the fabric on top. You want to do that before you stitch your sides. So you would stitch this on and then stitch all of your other fabric pieces together. Well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and that you learned something new. When you're looking at fabrics, try to find one that you think you could embellish just a little, especially if you're making it for the holiday season. Go to where they have the ribbons, take the ribbons, lay it against the fabric, and try to find something special that will go with your fabric. Now, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and check out my Facebook page. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and happy sewing. If you like the Sewing Room channel, one of the best ways to show your support is to subscribe by clicking on that red subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. And make sure you click on the bell so you receive notifications for all my new videos. I'm Cheryl, this is Manny, and this is Scotty. See you next time.